Hello, in this video I'll be teaching you how to solve Chapter 2.5, Number 3, which states to find the domain of each function and any equations of the vertical or horizontal asymptotes, if any. So in order to find the domain of the function, we just set each of these terms in the denominator equal to 0. So we'll start off with x plus 3 equals 0. So we just subtract 3 from each side and we get x equals negative 3. So we know we cannot have the x value negative 3 in our domain. So for the other term, we just set x minus 4 equal to 0. We add 4 to each side, and we get x equals 4. So we know that we cannot have the x value 4 in our domain. So we know we cannot have the x values negative 3 or 4, because if we insert those, we will get 0. If we insert either of those, we will have a denominator of 0, and you are not allowed to divide by 0. So that gives us the domain of x cannot equal 4 or negative 3, and x is all real numbers. Or you can write in this form, where the domain is all values from negative infinity up to 3, and then from just above 3 to up to 4, and then from just above 4 to positive infinity. So these are your two domains. So now that we have our domain, we need to find our vertical or horizontal asymptotes. We have actually already found our vertical asymptotes by setting the denominator equal to 0. So that makes our vertical asymptotes x equals negative 3 and x equals 4. So now that we have found our vertical asymptotes, we just need to check our horizontal we need to check if we have any horizontal asymptotes. So the rules for determining if there is a horizontal asymptote are given over here on the right. But first off, we need to understand that the degree of the numerator is equal to the value n, and the degree of the denominator is equal to the value m. So, if the value n is greater than the value m, the horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. If the value n is equal to the value m, the horizontal asymptote is y equals a over b. If the value n is greater than the value m, there is no horizontal asymptote. So first we need to determine the value of n. Basically, you can find this just by circling and counting the amount of x's there are in the numerator. We have 1, 2, 3, actually 4, because this is squared. So we have 4, so the value of n is actually equal to 4. So now we look at our denominator and count the amount of x's. We have 1, 2 x's. So the value of m is actually 2. This means that the value of n is greater than the value of m, and there is no horizontal asymptote. Once again, this is how you solve Chapter 2.5, Number 3. I have found the domain of the function, which is x is equal to all real numbers except for negative 3 and 4. I have also found the vertical asymptotes of the function, which is x equals negative 3 and x equals 4. I have also discovered that there are no horizontal asymptotes of this function. Thank you.